Hello everyone, so today I have another 11Six24 Power Paddle Series review, and today we're doing the Hurache-X. So this is the elongated paddle in the 11Six24 lineup, and it's a really great paddle. Is it my favorite out of the Power series? You're gonna have to wait till the end and see, but there's a lot of really great attributes about this paddle, especially if you are a fan of elongated paddles. Biggest thing that differentiates this versus the Pegasus Power and the Vapor Power is the 6-inch handle. The other two have a 5.75-inch handle. This has a 6-inch handle. So if you have a two-hand backhand coming from tennis, or you just really like hitting those two-e's like Connor Garnett, this is probably gonna be your best one. If you've got bigger hands, this is also quite nice because you can really firmly grip it. But it's got a really nice balance. Obviously, being a power paddle, it is power heavy. I would say it is the second most powerful out of the Power series behind the Pegasus, but it also has a ton of control. I found at the baseline, this thing can just launch the ball with a lot of control, a lot of consistency, a lot of shape on it. You can get a lot of topspin. I wouldn't say as much as the Pegasus Power, but still very good. Also really good with the soft game. And I found at the kitchen with my dinks, this paddle, especially on my two-hand backhand, was probably one of the best out of the 3 Power series paddles. And I did actually get to compare this side by side with the JOOLA Perseus 4, their newest paddle. And while they felt similar in some regards, I actually preferred the Hurache-X. Reason why is that it had a little bit more feel off the face. I found that the Perseus 4 was very stiff off the face. Didn't have a lot of forgiveness necessarily. If you had a mishit, the sweet spot seemed a lot more defined in the middle, where this one kind of went out a little bit more to the sides. But I also got more power off this paddle. I got more shape, I got more spin, and at the price difference, it's really hard to choose the JOOLA personally over this one. This all being said, 11Six24 did send me all 9 paddles for a demo event plus some gear, but they have no review control over this video. I'm just giving you my honest opinions. I'm gonna tell you what I like, what I don't like. But first, before I get into hitting with this paddle, my doubles partner Joey, who you might have seen in the full lineup of 11Six24 paddles, is gonna give you his thoughts because he's been using this for the past couple of months. So let's get his thoughts on that now.
Hey everyone, Joey here. I've been using the Hurache-X Power for probably 2 months now. And I tried all the 11Six24 paddles and I love this one the most. That's why I stuck with it. And the biggest thing for me that I found is it's so light. Like, especially when I'm a big third shot forehand drive guy. And I just found it so light. I get so much whip and control to it. I know it's a power paddle, but I still found every shot I do, I get a lot of control on. That's volleys at the net, dinks, everything. I found another one of my favorite shots is the two-hand backhand dink. And I find when I'm at the net doing that, I get so much control on it, a lot of top spin. And even when I go to the one-hand slice dink, I still find that it's so controlled. And you know, the sweet spot, even when you hit it a little outside the sweet spot, you still get that oomph to it that lets it go over that, and it's not a complete shank. Like, it's a great paddle, and players looking to take their game to the next level, I'd say 3.5 plus, 3.75 plus. If you're really looking to find those corners with your drives, definitely use the Hurache-X Power.
All right, so I'm gonna do some live hitting with the ball machine and just give you my thoughts as I'm hitting of what I think about the Hurache-X. So let's get into it. Obviously, being an elongated is probably the most similar swing that you'll have to a tennis racket. And I have actually weighted this up on the top 2 corners. Reason why is I like a little bit more plow through on my drives, but I also like the paddle to dip on my backhand roll at the net. And you can hear that it almost has like a whip cracking sound. But on shots like that, having that little bit of extra reach is quite nice. If I'm going cross-court, it's there. If I want to accentuate down the line with some good topspin deep ball, it's a fairly effortless swing. There's not a ton of adjustment that I've found. Two-hand backhand is probably the best out of any in the 11Six24 lineup because you do have that 6-inch handle. And there's a lot of consistency with this paddle that personally I didn't find with the Vapor. I gravitated more towards the Hurache-X and the Pegasus Power. just because I could get consistent with my drive. And I actually started doing a self-shake and bake that with this paddle worked quite well. But drops are still quite effortless as well. The sweet spot on this paddle is probably a little bit wider than most elongated paddles. And you get a lot of shape on the ball, right? And if we work this in to the kitchen on our volleys, this is the only spot that I found myself not necessarily liking the Hurache-X as much. Reason why is it has a little bit more swing weight because of the longer handle itself. And I found on my backhand roll, it was slowing me down slightly. Wasn't anything that I couldn't adjust to over time, but if I compared it to the Pegasus, it wasn't my favorite. And overall, it's a really great paddle. Out of the Power series, it's not the one that I ended up choosing. I actually ended up choosing the Pegasus Power as my go-to. I did like this for doubles. Not so much for singles personally, just because I found when I was trying to get that ball and the paddle up after a quick split step, it was just a little bit slower. And having that extra width on the Pegasus Power versus a slightly narrower face on the Hurache-X was not necessarily accentuating my play style. Is that going to be the same for you? Probably not. But overall, I have to say I'm really impressed with the 11Six24 Power series. You can't really go wrong with any of the paddles. The Hurache-X is definitely one that I'd recommend if you have a tennis background, if you need two hands on that backhand, or if you're just used to an elongated paddle already, this is probably going to be your best bet. So if you want to go and pick up any of these paddles, you can go over to 11Six24.com and you can use my code RY3D at checkout. It will give you a discount. I do get a little bit of money from each sale, but all of that money goes back into this channel so we can make more content. If you guys have any questions about how this played, what I thought about the paddle, how it compares to any of the other 11Six24 paddles, leave it in the comment section below and I'll get you guys on the next one. Bye. So, little editing pause here. You might have noticed that this video was very delayed after what I posted the other ones. It turned into a several-month review. Main reason why I was actually flip-flopping back and forth between the Hurache and the Pegasus Power. Ultimately, I did decide on the Pegasus Power, and now I'm onto the Pegasus Alpha Pro Power, which I will have a video up very shortly. Sorry about the delay. I'm going to get back into being a lot more consistent with the pickleball paddle reviews. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video.